got the money though, right?
Yeah.
Oh, good, yeah.
Did it come up with the
Yeah,
room now?
look, I'm telling
I
you, my
haven't seen it
best
yet.
advice is, when you get a bid or something, spend it, because in Seneca Falls, they waited all these, prices doubled
I
and
busted
tripled.
at the pieces.
Well, we're in the.
I was mowing and it dropped out of my pocket.
Yep. And then they've got
It just did the backside, not the front side.
Marvelous thing, right? No, you got a bank bill, but you know, you gotta
I
fund
caught it
money
there and
yourself
there
for your
and
business.
something got it there and
And then they reimburse
I
you.
picked it up, put it down in my pocket.
Yeah, that's fun as
It didn't crumble, it just kinda skimmed over it.
It's like when Menzo was alive, he was gonna do that, but
I
then
can
he
raise
died.
mine quick too. I got hydraulic.
Everything changed.
changed.
Yeah, I got, I have my zero turns.
I think we
on there.
can,
I got it.
or get people help on some, they said they would.
Hey, are any live on
Yeah.
TV?
Yeah, that close to.
We
Is
live?
it-
Oh,
there we are, all right.
Because nobody knows you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right,
it's
right,
got a,
right. But you
Right.
got participants?
compact tractor, we worked with the John Deere last year, so.
All right, Frank.
Okay.
4 o'clock.
It's
Go live.
4, we gotta go. Okay, all right, it is 4 o'clock, and this is the Finger Lakes Regional Land Bank Corporation meeting. And do we have a quorum?
Yes, we do.
Okay, and everybody's been recorded, it's here? Okay,
Nice,
so we'll go to number 2, the approval of the June 25th, 2024 regular minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the minutes. Is there any additions or corrections to the minutes? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Nobody was opposed, okay. We do have 2 resolutions, and we're going to take 24-28 first. 24-29, we're probably gonna postpone until the next meeting, and so Joe can explain to us the 2025 annual budget before we vote on it, correct?
Correct. And we need our accountants to
Right.
give their final input on it all.
Okay, so the 24-28 resolution, authorizing a letter of resolution with the New York State Department of Parks and Recreation and Historic Preservation and New York State Home and Community Renewal related to demolition of 55 Washington Street. I believe that's in Waterloo, New York. Okay,
Village, right?
So,
yeah, and I believe we have the money to demolish that too.
yeah, we have the money, and what we're doing is, we're working through the process of getting all the paperwork in order so we can do demos. The other demos are fine. The issue with this one is that it does have some historical significance of some sort. So we had to reach out to SHPO and let them be aware. Then they came in, they did an analysis, and they said, we're correct, there is some level of historic significance. So what they want, what we need to do is enter into this letter of resolution, because even SHPO says it's probably past saving, which is what our team also said. But now with this letter of resolution, what we'll end up doing is agreeing upon what steps we'll take to attempt to save some level of its character. And to be honest with you, what it looks like it's gonna be is just window and door frame kind of stuff. So, yeah, door trims and salvage windows to the greatest extent possible. So basically, that's what this is authorizing us to do, is to go ahead and start negotiating that with SHPO. Esther's already reviewed some of this stuff, so she's good with it, and we can start to move forward. Once we get this, what it's called an LOR, the letter of resolution is agreed upon by both parties, we can then move forward into submitting the, issuing the RFP for the demo.
And whatever saved will go to like a reuse center or something.
Yeah, I think that's what is part of the, in the letter. It's either gotta go to a reuse center, or we need to figure out, we need to save it or store it. So that's, I think, part of the in the letter, we're gonna decide what we're gonna do with it, because our part is like, we haven't really started into the historic storage business
Right.
yet, so we're gonna find out what we need to do next.
And the best thing they could do with it is, use it for another place that they've gotta restore, that they need that kind of wood or that kind of architecture.
I mean, and there is stuff, I know there are places that take these kind of,
Yeah.
you know, so
Yeah.
we'll work on something like that, but that's basically, what we were hoping to do is at least get this, resolution passed, so we can start that and get that wrapped up, by the end, hopefully by next month.
I'll make a motion, we pass the resolution.
I'll second
All
that.
right, we got a second? Okay, we got a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion on this resolution? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor, say aye.
I,
Anybody opposed? Okay, passed unanimously. Number 24-29, where the 25 budget, we're going to postpone that resolution until Joe and the accountants get back to us, so we can have more accurate numbers and,
You need a
Yeah.
motion to adjourn, or
I think
put it
so.
on the table for a while.
Table,
yeah, we
Yeah,
can
a motion
table
to
for
table.
1 month, right?
I'll make a motion, we table for 1 month.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion to table resolution 24-29. And we got a second, any discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor say aye to table this resolution.
All right,
Anybody opposed? All right, nobody was opposed. So we've got, there's a packet for you on the table right there. Thanks, Michael. Okay,
stranger.
so updates and discussion items, there really aren't any. at
Yeah.
this time.
Yeah.
Unless you have something to say, Jill.
No, to be honest with you, our goal was to just keep things, our head above water while Joe was out, and part of that is just, we kept paying the bills, and we're continuing to work on through issues, like this with SHPO and our consultants to, get our paperwork in order, so once he gets back, we can start the demo process.
Okay.
Um,
All right.
the Esther mentioned that that it should get mentioned that the Mosaic contract, they had negotiations for labor, so that went up, but it's still within the range that everyone voted to approve on in March, I think.
All right, yeah, so there was a distant, Mosaic for the mowing and such, they did reach out to us that they've had an increase, and yes, we put that in, we sent that to Esther and asked if we needed to, have a new approval, and she said, no, it was within the bounds of what was approved before, so.
Okay.
Just gonna keep,
All right, thank you.
but that we were to let you know.
All right, Michael, you just came in, I hate to spring this on you, we're on number 5,
Perfect.
but are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Very good.
I'm as ready as I can be without Joe, so sometimes there's some vagueness to what I can say. One thing before we go through this briefly that's really cool is now I'm in a transparent loop where I'm allowed to see the bills paid. So it just adds another set of eyes to it. So if anybody's wondering what has been going on since Joe's absence, we have it, and it's all, Bondeo, Ingenuity, Finger Lakes Times. I get an actual copy of it emailed to me. So when I tell you there was professional fees paid, I actually see
Oh, okay.
the actual things happening. The only comment without Joe, I don't know, but I'm assuming that like his expenses are being ran through that account. And I'm just thinking you guys already have like an expense, but I don't know the procedure at the county level. There are a couple that are made payable to him.
Oh,
I know like the one he paid for the camera for live streaming
Right.
to
Yeah.
get
Yeah,
reimbursed, and there was
Right,
another
yeah,
one
as
that
a
he
matter of
got.
fact, the live stream is one of them. He
Yeah.
mentioned that to me before he exited, that there was one that was that. I mean, they aren't substantial amounts. I mean, one is like 264, which I believe is the camera.
And then another one was like subscription to the website.
Right,
We have to-
right.
And so we're
Yeah,
doing
because
the
we don't have a
live feed
credit
today for the
card.
first time,
Thank
right
you,
there.
Joe.
yeah,
Thank you. Good job. Appreciate you putting up the credit card in advance, so you can have that. But, but that is something new that he set up with me. So every time there's a cash out, I'm allowed to see it now. And
Oh,
like I
good.
said, I think it's a good check or balance for us to have. I've also been provided with June and July, with April being the last, numbers that we had, so we'll briefly touch on both today. We're gonna, I believe, I don't know if that's what's in this packet here. Yeah, I don't know what you guys had.
We've got the June and
And July?
Yes.
Okay, great. So the June,
January to June.
the
Yeah.
June balance sheet has
And we
only,
have July too.
oh, yes, we do, yep. And the June portion of this, there were a couple of substantial, items that were worth mentioning. The general checking account increased by about $40,000. And once again, Joe will be watching this later on video and probably correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's the money from Wells Fargo, the $60,000 for Washington Street. And so that money had gone up substantially. I'm on the balance sheet comparison sheet that shows June and change from last year, which I don't usually discuss. Last year, I'm talking about from April. The HCR, that is a grant fund that went up 25,000. That's been put into the stream also. And when you're looking down under other current assets, at the very bottom of that long list of properties is the 55 Washington Street, the new donated property of $75,800. So that's really, and that does show it under the 60,000 I mentioned, shows up on page 2 of 2 also, as deferred revenue. So there's the offset for $60,000, 5 numbers down underneath as of June 30th of 2024. So really the Washington Street property was the big transaction between April and June's report. When we go a couple pages into budget versus actual for profit and loss, I believe I'm on, is that the 5th page? The 6th page, I'm sorry, 6th page. And you just mentioned the quote and the contact, there was debris removal, something that's a normal in lawn maintenance, both were part of springtime. And then also legal and professional services was up $9,000. The debris was about $1,000 up. Insurance was paid, all of which I'm seeing. So I can actually see, Bowers being paid for the CPA and Newmark valuation, Heaton and Venuti, Brewer Septic for some maintenance work, that's all found in this. But other than that, there really wasn't much other than just normal maintenance of a few properties and the addition of the property, and that makes up the June 30th report. Moving on to July, Jill, maybe you can answer this. It looks as if we did advance 30,000 on the line.
Yeah, we did. Joe actually was able to handle that paperwork.
Okay, so there is an increase in our line for $30,000. So our line had been carried at about $1,100. I know we had discussed at a previous meeting that we were concerned with, unknown situations with Generations Bank.
Yeah.
So in anticipation of possibly that line being frozen, we were in the spring of this year, we had discussed taking an advance. So I think this might be reflective of our April conversation that wasn't on camera. Not really a lot more to that. The same, if you go back to page 6 and look at the budget versus actual, the land bank phase 2 utilized $12,000 more. Nominal increases again, legal and professional went up $4,000 again. That was, that was Newmark valuation and Heaton and Venuti. I can actually tell you which ones they were with this program. So there was some small increases again with lawn and garden type stuff, but not really a lot to report other than that. It actually kind of leveled out.
Yeah.
And in Joe's absence and with us just holding on at this point. Other than that, if anybody has any questions, if anybody does want to see the bills, they're here, or at least the receipts are here.
I'm glad you're liking the new system. We're liking it a lot.
I like that a lot. That makes it so that we all see
Makes a
exactly
lot
what's
more
in.
sense.
Yeah, it sort of makes it, it's round to each person and you click your approve, it goes to the next
Mhm.
one. And, yeah, it's a lot easier for us to manage.
And it's not less work for me, totally. But it's easier at, like, I get to do stuff and then I don't have to chase down Jill and Joe.
Yeah.
They just have to go in and click.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think that's a good step forward for us.
Okay, good. Are there any questions anybody would like to ask, Michael at this time? Okay,
Make a motion, we approve it as read.
Second?
all those, we got a motion and a second. Any additional questions? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor, of the motion, say aye. Anybody opposed? Okay. All right, do we have any new business to come before the board, Jill? You'd be the reigning council.
Yeah, I'm looking at her, I'm like, she's been helping dodge emails with me, I'm like, nothing.
there's like that railroad thing, but that's,
Yeah, so that Railroad Avenue that we had sold a few years back,
That
they,
one little,
yeah,
the
they have
neighbors.
resold.
Yeah.
But they had to come through us because there was still the income, qualification for the new owner. So that we worked that through Esther, worked with it, and gave them some documentation and they sent some, income qualifying documentation back and it looks like. So we're not necessarily involved financially in the transaction, other than it was still that it had to stay income qualified for up to 5 years. So,
oh,
So we'll just see it when Heaton bills us.
yeah,
so after 5 years, we're finally out of the loop.
so after 5 years, then yeah, but I think they were close, it was still like 3.5, it's only been 3.5 or something like that, so.
All right. Does anybody else have any new business? Okay, well, if not, we'll, have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. Okay, we're gonna be adjourned. When will the next meeting be?
Oh, wait, right here.
4.
Thursday, or Tuesday, September 24th.
September 24th, okay. I'll put that in my phone.
They'll notify us.
Yeah, we'll find out. Yeah, come to the SMS this